God, that's so many words!
Welcome back to Boomer Rex Tonight, your nearly daily source for news and politics. Let me introduce.
Well, you've already introduced
Mr.
asshole.
Boomer Rex himself.
I introduced myself.
Good evening.
And asshole.
I'm sorry you wanted me to be quiet for 10 seconds and then you, just mad dogged me the whole time, so.
Yeah.
I know it's gonna be a knife fight when we go outside.
And I am RisenLadyHeathen. Let's dig right in, since I don't want to talk to you two shitheads tonight.
And we are gonna.
Tell me about the James Webb telescope.
Oh, I just thought it's going to launch it's currently scheduled to launch the 24th of December.
Oh, it's actually going into space.
It's actually going into space.
That's exciting.
This one is kind of interesting. It's like 10 years behind schedule. It's like double the price and so on.
Isn't that usually how these
How
things
much?
go?
Oh, do not get me started on the goddamn NASA kids.
So anyway, this one's going to be kind of interesting.
Is it better than the Hubble?
Yes.
Which is,
It's about 8 times better than the
and
Hubble.
I'm saying the Hubble optics were donated because they were too old to use.
Yes.
Fuck them.
Anyway.
So, okay.
No, that's what's actually interesting about this one.
Yeah.
That, unlike Hubble, which was pretty much guaranteed to work when we put it up.
Once we got the glasses on it,
Yeah,
we unbroke it,
yeah.
and 4 other, and a lot of that wasn't actually NASA's fault.
I know, but no, this one we threw some dice.
Really?
Yeah, the primary mirror is 6.5 meters.
That's annoyingly big.
That's like 20 feet.
I don't care
Okay.
At that point, I care what's its mass. Is it
A lot.
man-portable?
No.
Okay, so that means when the left side's coming down, I need 2 guys over there going, no, 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 no.
Yeah. So it's all folded up inside this rocket. And they're going to deploy it. And then it does a bunch of stuff. One of the things it is it spreads a whole bunch of layers of reflective mylar out to make a sort of a table that it doesn't touch. It's like a, think of it not a table, but an umbrella.
Okay.
And that points at the sun. And so no sunlight ever gets there. So where Hubble kind of runs around room temperature because it kind of orbits the Earth, which is kind of room temperature, this one's going to run at like minus 290 C.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
Space shadows are not to be fucked with.
Yes. But first, that gigantic mirror has to unfold in orbit.
Yeah, that's...
And in an orbit where we can't go say, oh, no, here, let me help.
Yeah.
So this is going to be an exciting couple of months.
No, this is
Interesting, yeah.
This is go for broke.
This is why we said, hey, you there rocket kids, if you could have 1,500 Nazis, which ones would you have?
Yeah.
But we tried to flex hard on the global war on terror with the deck of nitwits in Iraq.
Yeah.
And, okay, them and their 10 besties. Only it's Iraq, and they were promising they were going to pour Santa's blood out onto the Nebuchadnezzar dead.
So anyway, it will be interesting to watch. And I won't say a Hail Mary. This is go for broke. This is a very complex instrument that has to unfold.
This is, 364 days a year, I am going to be shitty anytime someone says aerospace.
Yeah.
Because aerospace is, I need a 19-year-old in a better position. And this is actually, you were talking about it's unfolding well past where we've put humans before.
Yeah.
It's doing all... Seriously, we've only sent humans one... What's the stovetop popcorn?
Huh?
Minute popcorn?
Like when you make popcorn on the stovetop.
You have to
Jiffy
shake
Pop.
Jiffy Pop.
NASA was Jiffy Pop when we went to the moon.
Yeah.
Skippy wasn't wrong. You really could see the Campbell's label on the other side Like
That's a reference
I-
to one of
yes.
our favorite book series,
Yes.
The Expeditionary
Craig
Force.
Allenson,
So good.
he's a master
amazing.
of the art.
Yeah, Skippy is my favorite character.
Yes,
I think ever.
and he's doing the math where I can see that it's the like Duke skull.
So at one time, and I'm sure it's still there, but at one time at the National Air and Space Museum in Washington, they had a Mercury capsule, and they had some wooden steps so that you could go up and look inside it and see how tiny it was and so forth.
Oh my God! Right.
And as I walked up, I remembered somebody saying that you could leave a dent in it with your fingernail.
You scratched it.
You
monster!
I once gave a young lady shit for knowing or being a human that rang a thing on the USS Constitution. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Anyway.
You and Pence touching shit.
Yeah. Anyway, I was
Or-
surprised that a fingernail would leave a very modest dent. And there were lots of others, but anyway.
Yeah, no,
There's something wrong with you, sir.
I-
I'm just gonna say,
No, there is-
national treasures. Don't
there is-
let him near your exhibits, people. He will ruin it.
Absolutely. Everyone in this room is why we can't have nice things. But
Fair.
again,
No,
I
that's
would
fair.
throw turpentine on the Mona Lisa in a half a second.
Ooh, turpentine is
But-
related to what we're gonna talk about later.
Are we dissolving someone in
NTAB.
turpentine?
No, but it's kind
We're not
of like,
making bombs.
whenever I think of
hate this
turpentine,
part of
I
the
also
internet.
think of this. So
No, but you get credit for that. Because you were the first human I ever met who actually wanted to go to space, and you
Yep.
understood. Yeah, I can't get angry. I can't drop a tool. I can't. I
Yeah.
live in a Jiffy Pop can,
Yeah.
going 98 million miles. How far away is the moon? Is it really 98?
Well, they didn't take Mercury to the moon. By the time we went to the moon, the spacecraft were considerably more substantial.
It doesn't fucking matter, really, does it? If they're gonna fling except I have to ride.
Oh,
with
yeah.
Jeff.
No, I think having your device come apart
Oh, I don't care.
in Earth orbit would be just as bad.
Just welcome to my goddamn point. Is I could sell do not sell drugs to the internet. Everything I say it should be deleted. I could sell enough product to go to orbit with Bezos. And that's not really the case. We've already been there. We've been there a lot. We used to catch poorly fielded balls from there.
Yep.
all right.
Anyway, so
let's
an
move on.
interesting topic.
Power matters more than policy. Talking
Yeah,
about
Democrats,
this
you've
one.
got to wake
shit.
up.
This is my fault.
No, I read it too.
Okay, I know.
Tell me about it. I did not read it.
You
No.
were lucky.
Well, the Democrats are babbling about Build Back Better and whether it will include a
I
child
know,
tax credit
right.
and a this and the that and the other and free kindergarten and so forth. The Republicans are removing legitimate principled people from the positions that control voting in a number of red states. And their intent is that if Trump doesn't win in 2024, they will do what was recommended in that little text from Governor
what
Goodhair
Roger
Perry.
Stone designed in 2016.
Yeah.
It's the same. It's
Is to
the
have Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania,
whatever
so on,
states can claim
ignore
it.
the vote and send a slate of Trump electors.
Remember,
The Republicans are actively working on that, while the Democrats are just kind of stumbling around, passing nothing.
yes, thank you.
Right? It's just idiotic. It's like the Democrats haven't waked up, that they don't understand that they have a fascist organization that is trying to destroy their democracy
Are you going to say it
actively.
or am I?
What?
Because the article we talked about referenced it perfectly. That the Democrats want to pretend this is an episode of West Wing.
Oh God,
Yeah.
yeah.
Which everyone who likes
Everybody
politics in
does.
America can agree.
Yep.
Oh my God! Because holy shit, they gave the Republicans, dad from Roseanne Barr's show before she went crazy.
No idea.
It doesn't matter.
They gave him the presidency
Goodman.
briefly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the way that couldn't be beaten. In the way that if you really cared about the rules and you really were a man of honor who was understanding
Right.
that
This is how it would work
that
out.
we were 6.5 minutes of Facebook away from, I don't
Yeah.
know, no one picks up my phone when I call them. governments exist because we believe in them.
Right.
And
we have a large chunk of the Republican Party that doesn't believe in government, doesn't
we
believe
have
in
a long,
democracy.
we
It
have
believes in fascism.
something hovering around 50% of America that doesn't believe in democracy anymore because democracy has failed them at every chance it ever had.
That's true.
So I'm going to quote AOC.
Yeah,
It's actually
Yeah, I know.
delusional to believe the Democrats can get reelected without acting.
Yep.
No,
Thank you, AOC.
yeah. No, and it's why the concept of the squad was developed was because AOC is hard to look directly upon, and the others aren't, right? You've got
I don't even know who the squad is because I don't really care. I like AOC. The rest of them are kind of.
yeah, but
None of them have done anything that's really made me be like, oh shit, I should know that person's name.
the young lady from Somalia,
Yeah, she's kind of cool, but like, what has she done?
she throws a lot of rocks at APAC, which makes it very hard to be in Washington at certain times a year. It's like going to CPAC and showing something that isn't covered up, like the Mormons wouldn't be okay with.
Right.
Like, so no, it was entirely trying to rope her together with a collection of people who were going to put forward. The other young lady put forward a defund the police in who cares what zip code.
So, thank you,
Simply-
AOC, for
Yeah.
distilling it to like 12 words.
And remembering that it's a rhetorical fight. And the example of rhetorical fights being a nitwit and a doctor show up to be doctors. And if the rhetoricist wins, the doctor is lucky if they get out of town alive.
No, and I get it's difficult to get stuff done with the Republicans, like, kind of like standing in your way, but like, you gotta do something.
The
You can't-
iffy-ass
You
Democrats.
got to get serious
Yeah.
about, for instance, the Voting Rights Act, which would actually have an impact on preserving democracy,
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
as opposed to this Build Back Better, which with Munchkin, they're not ever going to
They're
pass
going to
it.
cut everything. Yeah.
Everything except what the rich people
They're
want.
going to find the plank distance of the U.S. dollar. They're
Yeah.
going to divide by half until it's an irrelevancy and it's a rounding
Oh
error.
no, they'll divide by half until they get down to the core that the rich and their corporations want, and they'll pass that
Right.
because it's always good to give
Yes.
money to
No,
the rich.
this is the problem, is that the angry parts of the left and right both agree, let's set some shit on fire. And I am terrified of the day we meet a person who goes, you know what should burn tonight?
So anyway, while we're talking about it, it's about goddamn time again. So U.S. District Judge Trevor McFadden denied a motion to release Robert Morse. So he's one of those. He's got like 53 charges against him.
Oh shit, that one!
Went from place to place, leading groups to attack the police and so forth.
Yeah.
And he thinks he should be allowed out.
Oh, look,
That's not happening. Not in a million goddamn years.
if Naval Special Warfare wants to talk to him, there are some ways out for him. Like, that kid went from fight to fight. We could hang some medals on him. But
But not at the Capitol.
oh, no shit. Like, I plan to put him in places that we're going to lie about being.
The prosecutor says his actions inherently prove he is a danger to the community at
Oh,
large.
yeah.
And law
Aggressively.
enforcement officers who stand in the way of his ideological beliefs, whose safety
Yes.
can only be assured by his attention.
Yeah.
And the judge agreed.
You're telling me that's a human being that went from fighting position to fighting position and, like, amped up the violence.
Yeah.
He himself
That's
actively attacked
a hero.
several police.
When they're on the other team, we just shoot them in the mouth. Like,
Yeah.
again,
Don't
So,
shoot people the internet,
We
but
tend to get negative from time to time, so I want to get this one in. It's my Christmas greeting.
right?
So don't give up.
No, for
Right.
sure.
And it's easy to feel overwhelmed that here we go again. Right. Omicron shows up just in time to mess up Christmas and all the rest of that.
yeah.
I said, look, don't feel defeated. We will get through this. We've gotten through worse. We'll do it together. We're still going to bitch at the maskless and we're going to bitch at the vaccine resistors. Right. But we're going to be sorry when their friends and families die from COVID that they brought home.
No, it's terrible.
So,
Really is. It really is tragic. If you think about what these people were convinced of and how wrong it is, and the fact that they are so convinced that this could cause them harm, that they're actually causing themselves harm by not doing it, and it's just very sad to me. So you also said you have an Omicron update, so let's get that out of the way as well.
Okay, sure.
Might as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well,
the first piece is a COVID update. The appeals court reinstated the Biden administration mandate for large companies to require COVID vaccines of their employees by the 10th of January, and I think that's going to move out a little bit. And I'm sure it will be appealed to the Supreme Court, and we'll see what the Supreme Court does.
Well, I hope that they go along with this, because this could go a long way to stopping our COVID spread. Seriously.
Yep. England reports now 10,000 confirmed Omicron cases on a day when there were 97,000 cases reported. So Omicron has become a significant player in the UK in 2 weeks.
Oof. Not good.
The numbers that they're giving are that the Omicron cases double every 2 to 3.5 days.
Oh, God, that's a lot.
There's less and less real evidence that Omicron is milder. Probably milder in people who are well vaccinated, probably milder in people who have had COVID before, right? But neither of those will fully protect you from Omicron. Vaccinated and boosted is probably 80% effective against hospitalization. So
I vaguely read something that said if you have all your shots and your booster, and then you manage to get COVID, that you potentially get super immunity. So
that's potentially true.
Yeah,
so anyway, Omicron is coming.
That I've seen breakthrough infection, and
yes, that's what it was. It was about breakthrough infections in people
some
with
level,
the booster.
yes, if you've gotten jabbed as many times as you could have and had the COVID, that's probably
one would
better
expect you
than having never met it.
Right, absolutely. So let's talk for a minute about climate weirding.
Yes. Oh no, hold on. I have a great headline for this. Climate weirding. Nuclear waste edition. I like that.
Yeah, okay.
I like that.
Well, as we think about what could we do very quickly to help with the levels of CO2 that we're emitting, nuclear energy is one of the possibilities. The problem with that is how do you sequester the waste that you generate, which will have to be sequestered for many hundreds of years.
And you guys said that Yucca Mountain is just not good?
They didn't do it.
So many swear words involved.
That died to a severe case of NIMBY.
We don't have a good argument for nuclear power being a good number because we don't have good numbers on the cost for building the facilities. I know people that make good money going, oh, no, you just installed a right-handed thing and made more turns and there's radiation spewing a deadly arc about 4 feet in that corner over there.
Yeah.
Is there any way to make something like Yucca Mountain only that works?
What they're talking about now is centralizing an interim storage of about 100 years in the dry casks. If it didn't make sense from any other perspective, for the love of God, centralize the dry casks.
Yeah.
We have dry casks of transuranic waste sitting at sites that once upon a time had a reactor, and that reactor has been decommissioned.
Yeah.
Right.
That sounds very dangerous.
Yeah, and there are quite a few different places that are in that situation. Yes, that's insanely dangerous. Right. Centralize it, have a competent guard force, a competent monitoring. Right, and give us a while to think about what we want to do with it.
Yeah.
Even if we don't do anything else and never build another reactor.
Competent end of the National Socialists in America who have a social media presence are scraping smoke detectors for radioactive material. If they knew how decommissioning worked, they'd be in about 4 states and we'd have a real problem.
Fair.
Like Nest teams would have way more guns and way less
Yeah.
like mop gear, but glow in the dark.
So let's gather it all together and guard it properly.
Yes.
And while we're talking about climate weirding, we had talked about electric cars for the apocalypse. And what we had said was, if you just do an electric car, right, like the Chevy Bolt, which is a perfectly normal Chevy small, subcompact, right, with batteries and electric motors. Now, again, it's already better from that perspective. The electronics and the motors are profoundly simpler than any of the internal combustion engines, right? So you have bought a car where 80% of your car simply isn't subject to failure, right? Now the batteries are a big issue, but fine.
Outside of work, the big capacity labor is to the grocery store and back. And you do not eat your body weight in anything.
Yeah. So anyway, when we were talking about that, we said that a car needed about 300 watt hours to go a mile, right? But that's a car-shaped car, right? And it's, 2,300, 2,700 pounds. Well, what if you designed a car that was intended to be electric and to be very efficient? And what could you get? And so what you get is a car called an Aptera, right? Which looks for all the world like a dolphin.
Well, and it looks like a cross between, like you said, a dolphin and like one of those cycles that have the two wheels in the front.
Yeah.
The motorcycle.
Two wheels in front, one wheel in the back.
Yeah.
A lot of motorcycle-ish technology, electric motor, batteries, right? And covered in solar cells.
Fuck yeah.
So
No, this is my dream car now. Like, this thing's amazing.
So I priced one out. I don't know that they're delivering yet, and I'm not going to put down money to reserve one until they've delivered several thousand.
Yeah, you want to see how they're going.
But they're talking about a price of $30,000.
Which isn't bad, considering the electric vehicles we've looked at and what their prices are. That's real good for brand new.
We're talking about a car that'll go 400 miles.
Yeah, that was the impressive part.
That'll cruise at 60 to 100. That'll get to 60 in 4.5 seconds, which is plenty scooty enough to keep up with.
Oh yeah, especially getting on this on-ramp.
My only problem is the lack of off-road capability, and that's entirely due to the fact I'm not looking at an image generated by used consumers.
Yeah. So anyway, and you could cut the.
A
lot of this is a lot of what's there in the car are the aerodynamic features, right, like around the wheels and so forth, that you could easily cut off, and then you'd have some clearance and so on. But best of all, it's covered in solar panels. Yeah. And it'll go 40 miles a day without ever being plugged in. Forever. So, and in Arizona, that's exactly what it'll do. Again, I said I had an electric bicycle that would literally go forever.
Right.
So, without ever being plugged in.
Right.
Anyway, kind of cute. I like it.
Yeah, no.
So,
that's awesome.
Anyway, send us money and we'll buy one. And
we'll tell you all about it.
Well, we'll tour around.
Or whoever.
We're going to need two because it's a two-seater. What's the
name of the company again?
Yeah, sure.
Is Aptera.
Okay, so Aptera, send us a free one and we'll review it for you. We're really excited. So please, we are interested.
But it's off in the right direction, right? Because what we were saying was, why are we dicking around with car-shaped things?
Right.
When what you really want is something that's kind of halfway between a bicycle and a car.
I like that little scooter thing that I found with storage in the back, and it was like a little, like one person, but like you could put a bunch of stuff in the back. Like it had a big trunk, and I thought that was cute. Yeah. But anyway, I did want to say we did get a message on Facebook.
What?
Yes, someone sent us a message on Facebook. It's just a little picture of a kitty waving, and it says hi.
Who? I love them.
His name is Josbean Paredes.
You're my fucking favorite, bro.
It's Josban Paredes. So thank you, buddy. And I replied to him with
If you make 3 more noises, I'll actually know your name. But that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, no, I was really excited because it was our
That's
first
cool.
message, and it was just a hello. And I don't even know if he listens to the show, but if you do, buddy,
Yeah.
you're my new BFF.
There
I
you
don't-
go.
I don't even care if you're just a bot. Like, you're my new favorite life form.
No, and we have had a couple of like bullshit messages, like, "Hey, I could get you,
Yeah.
you know, help you get your thing going."
Yeah,
And no,
I know
don't
better
need help
people
with that.
in Vietnam to make that happen.
Yeah.
Dude, Podbean has a whole webinar series. Okay, it's fine. But anyway, I did want to give a shout out to him. Thank you for your message. And
All right.
I did reply with,
Yeah.
Cool.
No. There you go. Done. That's
All
fucking
right.
accurate.
I love it.
so it's, what's his name? Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
Yes.
When he's on the ship and he's waving to,
That's kind of us.
yeah,
Oh, absolutely.
he's waving to Dan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it says hello, but it's just him waving while he's on the boat.
Just we're kind of derpy.
So now we
No,
have
like
to
we're
talk
derpy
about.
AF,
Yeah.
so that was appropriate.
We have to talk about
No.
the great
No.
gingerbread war.
Yes.
What the fuck? This feels like you guys set it up earlier. What have you done?
So, Representative Lauren Boebert, yeah, right, had to be her, one of the
course.
Maroons. She is upset because a place was selling gingerbread people, and she's furious that their gingerbread don't have a gender.
Why did
And
they
so
need
I've
a
never
gender?
seen a gingerbread person that had an obvious
I have
gender.
nothing nice to say. Everything I would
I
say
know.
should be bleeped out and deleted.
But
Beep,
it's
beep,
the
beep,
standard.
beep, beep.
Yeah, no, really.
No, it's the standard outrage bitch thing of, oh my god,
Why are you trying
this
to
is
fuck
different.
up
This
cookies,
is,
you derpy
you know,
dudes?
this is
Like,
different. This
oh
is
my-
different. I want them called gingerbread men, like when I was all safe and 4 years old.
Karen, go fuck yourself.
Getting
That's
sold on the
Yeah.
dark web.
just
oh my
fucking
god.
shut up,
Yeah.
Karen.
Anyway,
Fucking
so that was
No
my
one
funny
likes
for
you.
tonight.
You have no
Literally
friends.
breaks my teeth.
Jesus.
Bobert, you owe me teeth.
Okay, so I have a fun story before we get to our questions.
Oh, we have
this
questions, that's
evening.
right.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So today was a stupid slow news day, so I figured
Oh
it
my
was a
God.
perfect time for us to go back over our discussion of the other night of the Great Molasses Flood, also known as the Boston Molasses Disaster.
Okay.
On January 15th, 1919, a large storage tank holding 2.3 million U.S. gallons,
Oh my god.
weighing approximately 13,000 short tons of molasses, burst. The wave of sticky goo flowed through the streets at an estimated 35 miles per hour, killing 21 people and injuring 150.
Holy crap.
Years later, folklore in the neighborhood, which is the north end of Boston, the folklore in the neighborhood told by residents claims that for decades,
You
on
could smell
hot
it.
days, you could still smell the molasses.
Yeah.
Like,
Now, I have to do this. I was going to write up some of the stuff and just be done with it. But when I was reading the Wikipedia, it was too good. This is
Okay.
too good. So I'm going to read to you guys straight from the Wikipedia. This is phenomenal.
how many short tons?
13,000
Thank you.
short tons.
13,000.
1,000.
Yep.
Cool.
The disaster occurred at the Purity Distilling Company facility at 529 Commercial Street near Keeney Square. Molasses, which can be fermented to produce ethanol, the active ingredient in alcoholic beverages and a key component in munitions, had been stored there by the company, which used the harborside commercial street tank to offload molasses from ships and store it for a later transfer by pipeline to the Purity ethanol plant situated between Willow Street and Evertes Way in Cambridge. The molasses tank stood 50 feet tall and 90 feet in diameter and contained as much as 2.3 million U.S. gallons. On January 15th, 1919, temperatures in Boston had risen above 40 degrees, climbing rapidly from the frigid temperatures of the preceding days. And the previous day, a ship had delivered a fresh load of molasses, which had been warmed to reduce its viscosity for transfer, possibly due to the thermal expansion of the older colder molasses already inside the tank burst open and collapsed at approximately 12:30 p.m. This is the fun part. Witnesses reported that they felt the ground shake and heard a roar as it collapsed, a long rumble similar to the passing of an elevated train. Others reported a tremendous crashing, a deep growling, a thunder-like bang, and a sound like a machine gun as the rivets shot out of the tank.
Oh my God.
Everything,
Shit,
everyone
man.
in every trailer
Everybody
park
in the north end of
describes
Boston
it
is like, we're under attack! They're coming for us!
yeah,
And
look,
they were right.
and the Irish invented the drive-by
Yeah.
and the park in front of your house and shoot. But like pretty much all vehicle-borne violence.
Just to put this...
Oh yeah, no, you already got the like million gallons. You already got the like. This is an amount that your brain actually can't think of.
Yeah.
Just to put
This
this
is
in...
not like your friend's big truck full of molasses dumped on you.
Yeah.
Okay, so just for a bit of perspective, all right, the density of molasses is about 1.4 tons per cubic meter.
Yeah.
That's 12 pounds a U.S. gallon. 40% more dense than water, resulting in the molasses having a great deal of potential energy.
Yeah.
The collapse transferred this energy into a wave of molasses 25 feet high at its peak, moving at 35 miles per hour.
Twice as fast as you can run.
The wave was of sufficient force to drive steel panels of the burst tank against the girders of the adjacent Boston Elevated Railway Atlantic Avenue structure, tip a steer car momentarily off the L's tracks.
Even fucked with the L.
Stephen Pallo describes
Say
how
that's
nearby
hard.
buildings were swept off their foundations and
Yeah,
crushed.
we just lied about that.
Several blocks were flooded to a depth of 2 to 3 feet.
Until the poor kids came out and started eating it.
Stephen quotes a Boston report, molasses waist deep covered the street and swirled and bubbled about the wreckage. Here and there struggled a form, whether it was animal or human being was impossible to tell. Only an upheaval, a thrashing about in the sticky mess showed where any life was. Horses died like so many flies on sticky flypaper. The more they struggled, the deeper in the mess they were ensnared. Human beings, men and women, suffered alike.
Like, this is before we gave birth to yellow journalism, but you can see where it's coming from.
Fucking crazy.
Basically a molasses tsunami.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
That's bad enough. That's worse than here, because we talk about flash floods here, where you're going to get hit with, I don't know what's in the wash. You're going to find out, and it's going to be, you wish it was rocks. This is going to knock you unconscious in the course of taking you over.
The Boston Globe reported that people were picked up by a rush of air and hurled many feet. Others had debris hurled at them from the rush of sweet-smelling air. A truck was picked up and hurled into Boston Harbor. After the initial wave, the molasses became viscous, exasperated by the cold temperatures, trapping those caught in the wave and making it even more difficult to rescue them.
How much you want to bet it became viscous after everyone stole everything they could?
Yeah.
Several horses, we already know 21 people killed, 50 injured. Several horses were killed. Some were crushed and drowned by the molasses or by the debris that it carried within.
Oh, yeah, no, that's
The wounded included people, horses, dogs. Coughing fits became one of the most common ailments after the initial blast. Edwards Park wrote.
Yeah, humans go down to water over their shins. Like, this at your ankles, broke your ankles, and then knocked you down hard enough that if you're lucky, you woke up in severe pain downriver. Like,
yeah. Edward,
or it hit you with horses, apparently.
Yeah. Edwards Park wrote one child's experience in a 1983 article for Smithsonian. Anthony DeStacio walking homeward with his sister from the Michelangelo school, was picked up by the wave and carried, tumbling on its crest, almost as though he were surfing. Then he grounded, and the molasses rolled him like a pebble as the wave diminished. He heard his mother call his name and couldn't answer. His throat was so clogged with the smothering goo. He passed out, then his eyes opened to find 3 of his 4 sisters staring at him.
Where'd the other one go? Dysentery.
I imagine
Yeah.
it was, she was
It's
picked
still
up.
Boston in the 18 whatever teens.
Yeah.
Dysentery, gypsies, who knows?
Jesus.
Yeah, no, Again, it's like the kids in Indonesia. Like, nope, I have no comparable experience to a tsunami. I can understand, like, again, where I understand that anything moving at or around your shins can take you down as a human being, doesn't mean I can understand what it's like to get hit by, 26 million? What? It doesn't matter. Like, it killed horses. Like, it's also gonna now hit you in the face with a dead horse.
Rescuers found it difficult to make their way through the syrup to help victims,
Yeah.
and 4 days elapsed before they stopped searching. Many of the dead were so glazed over in molasses that they were hard to
No,
recognize.
I'd rather assault into a Katrina-style hurricane.
Other victims were swept into Boston Harbor and were found 3 or 4 months after the disaster.
Loads of humans go into Boston Harbor and are never heard from again. Or months
So
later.
apparently somebody wrote an entire book on this. So let me get
Okay.
that for you because
Yeah.
it sounds
No,
interesting.
I'm interested, and I have a morning.
Hold on. I meant to get the notes on the book, but I did not.
No,
This
is fabulous because I've literally never heard of this. Like, I can tell you all about the houses in Alabama and the Spite House that kept building more layers to offend the neighbor behind them. So, no, this is the part of American history I love because I have very little sample.
Apparently there's a movie too.
What?
I survived the Great Molasses.
Okay, obviously, come here,
the
internet.
Great Molasses Flood.
Yeah, there's more than one?
Oh yeah.
Well, internet, like, comment, subscribe, especially you, the one that sent us a gift.
Okay. So the person who wrote the book, so it's called Dark Tide, The Great Boston Molasses Flood of 1919, and it's by Stephen Pello. We quoted him. So he wrote the book, and it looks really interesting. I think it goes into detail. It sounds like he got a lot of in person, like people who survived
First
it.
person,
Such, yeah.
For sure.
So he's got a lot of good information. So just kind of a funsy, not really fun because a bunch of people died, but
Oh no, and I'm pretty sure if we map it out, we'll find out. You can figure out how much the bosses on that street level made, because there's a reason why Boston smells like that.
So
Yep.
anyway,
In a good way, with love.
Just an interesting little tidbit of that this is really like a hardcore New Englander thing. Like,
Yeah,
it's funny
I'd
because
never
you
heard of
two had
this.
never heard of it.
No.
But your wife had heard of it.
Yeah.
And she's a Vermonter. So it really is truly New England legend. So for
Yeah.
those of you who aren't from New England who have never heard of this, now you know
Now
something
you have
really
a story to
interesting.
tell. Yeah.
So there you go. Tonight, Risen's Interrogation Spotlight, Teen Vogue Edition Part 5.
Thumb
you like
screws
it?
part 2.
Do you like it? Is that good?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. What's your...
We're going to find the perfect one the night we do the last of the questions.
Well, yeah.
Well, it won't be Teen Vogue Edition anymore. It'll be
Right.
back to whatever Indian, company is putting out questions
Right.
again.
Fair the fuck enough.
So what do we got?
What's your biggest fear?
Snakes.
Spiders.
I keep finding them.
I am
I
very...
have found every goddamn rattlesnake on this property and fuck off.
I embarrass myself.
And never is it a time when I can just, like, scamper away.
Yeah. That's true. You locked yourself in the well house with one.
And I locked myself in the garage with one.
Yeah. Oh, so anyway, what is my greatest fear? Looking stupid.
They're all gonna laugh at you.
They're all gonna
Yeah.
laugh at you.
Yeah, no, it really is. I
Yeah.
feel bad having said that. That's actually what he's
That's the
afraid of.
truth.
I know. If they
Yeah.
do
I
not
learned
laugh,
that young enough I could
will
be
set them
aware
on
of it.
fire. You don't even know.
Yeah.
If they ever laugh at you one time, Barnabas.
Anyway, I embarrassed myself in front of my brother-in-law today by we were cleaning out an area and stumbled across a spider, which happened to brush my finger, which made me recoil and screech ever so politely.
Yeah.
And
Like a gangsta bit.
oh my god, it was terrible. I was like, you know what? There's lots of things I can deal with.
Yeah, no.
Spiders are, and he's like, no. He's like, I don't like them either, and he all stomped on it. And I was
That's
like,
adorable.
Thank you.
Note to self. No, we're getting him for Halloween.
He's like, I don't have the proper lungs to scream as appropriately as you did,
no,
but
I
I
assure
was like,
you,
oh my god.
that was
You
savage.
heard me screech when I ran across a
Yes,
spider.
no, I was feeling bad for the boy in your story because that has been savaged right out of him.
I was walking through the backyard in Virginia one day and walked dead into the black and yellow garden spider, but they're big, right?
Yeah. No, they're really stupidly big.
There they are.
They're like Danny Longlegs. No, they're not dangerous at
They're
all,
like
but that's
5
why they
times-
get to be so big.
They're like 5 times the size of a black widow, shaped
Internet-
exactly
they're
like a
huge
black
and
widow.
they're
Internet,
terrifying.
And
if you've ever been stepped on a
gross.
spider, then you know,
Yeah,
and
they-
she's wrong.
They're gross.
yeah, they have barbs in
Yeah.
their feet. Anyway,
It doesn't even
so I
matter.
walked dead
It just-
into his web, and he was on my face. And
Yeah.
I discovered that spiders could make me scream too.
Yeah.
Oh my
So-
god, I remember one time I was walking, I was a little kid, I must have been 10. I was walking under a tree and some of the leaves just brushed my shoulder. I live in the woods. This happens all the time. Didn't even think about it until my friend turned, looked at me, pointed at my shoulder and screamed, "Spider!" And I was like, "What are you talking about?"
Fabulous.
And I turn and look, and there, sitting, perched on my shoulder, like the perfect little parrot,
Yeah,
is this yellow spider.
cool.
Big. It was huge. It took up my whole
You know
shoulder.
they're bigger when they're on.
And
you,
it was
but-
facing
awesome.
forward.
I get to tell
and it
a
was
story
just
I never
sitting
get to
all
tell.
perfect, like, "Oh, hey, what's up? How you doing?" Just like a little parrot. Like, it was just like, "Oh, how's your day going?" I screamed at the top of my lungs, brushed my shoulder, and ran and ran and ran.
Yeah.
Oh my
No,
god.
I saw what you did there.
Oh,
That
it
was
was
nice.
terrifying. Oh, it was absolutely terrifying.
So, Internet, the last time I ever screamed, I was a child of 7 or 8, and we were living in Washington at the time, and I sat down, and a spider fell from the sky and landed in my underwear.
Oh no.
And that was the last time I've ever screamed in my whole ass life.
Yeah, once you experience that.
It's because like both of you describe stories where you scream, and it's very interesting because like I don't, and like because there was that time when you ran up on the car when like Steven and I were in the car. And like I cannot make a noise. I seize up. Like what comes after now is horrific violence. But but I cannot. I can't make a noise. I just have to like wait until they're very close and then like we go at it.
First night we were here in town, we were headed out to dinner, and Asshole's little sister reached down and picked up literally the biggest tarantula I've ever seen.
Oh God.
Turns
I have
around
no sympathy. He likes the Southwest.
and hands it to me. She says, "Here." And so it's sitting on my hand. Hardest thing I ever did was not to throw it down.
Yeah, because you know
It
it
is.
won't bite you, but like knowing and
Well,
knowing. Are
and
two
the
different
point was,
things.
she had worked in a pet store.
Yeah.
And she knew
Oh,
that based on how it was behaving, that it was not terribly frightened and it wasn't going to bite anybody.
Yeah.
But
You were the only
Oh my
human
God.
she could hand it to.
My heart stopped.
No, the
So-
worst part is that we don't have yellow spiders like the one I was describing in New Hampshire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I later realized that it was probably a banana spider that had come in, and those are very poisonous.
Man, you're fine.
It was terrifying. Anyway, what's your all-time favorite memory?
Getting saved in the pool.
Oh.
What happened?
I fell in a pool. My Aunt Catherine brought me up to see our people in Vermont. I fell in the pool backwards because the very nice guy who was like really awesome, he found a bunch of like murdered girls or something. But no, I fell in the pool and my dad saved me.
Oh.
Yeah. No, I was dying. Like, I knew this was not a. It is the
Did
only.
you not know how to swim then?
No.
Oh, that'll do it.
And that water was cold.
Yeah, no, it was everything. I can remember watching the bubbles go up. I can remember watching you dive in. I can remember thinking, he's probably really cold. And I don't remember anything after that. So.
No, I reached for him. I couldn't reach him. He was sort of sitting on the bottom looking
Yeah.
at me dying. And,
Yeah, I mean, there is that.
oh,
I
God
was
damn.
raised by
So
a
I hopped
bastard.
in and shoved him out. Fortunately, it was the shallow end. So
Yeah.
Good job.
It would have worked.
Drowning in the shower.
Anyway.
I was very small.
Fair.
Oh, my favorite memory is when I got off the airplane in Norfolk, Virginia,
Fair enough.
and my wife was there to meet me.
Oh.
Well, she wasn't my wife yet.
Doesn't fucking matter, but we are coming for the goddamn artillery stand, umbrella thing, and the compass.
Oh, yeah.
Barnabas! Touch the hatchet.
Bring them.
God, you guys
Finish
have
the
like
machine.
such
What's next?
meaningful memories.
Oh. We'll play this game sometime when your dad's around and see what you want to say.
What's my all-time favorite memory?
right.
Look, that's hard. I'm actually like a real bright, cheery person, and I have a lot of good memories, and I have a lot of really
She's
bad
being able to
memories.
think of none of them right now.
No, it's like it's my
Favorite.
ADD that kicks in.
Okay.
So ask me a question, my brain will go blank.
Yeah.
Because honestly, when I first wrote down these questions, I kind of
You
had
had
it.
an answer for-
Carousel
I had an-
Polaroids
You have a cheat.
of the minute.
I had an idea in my head, and I was like, okay, I'll go with that. And I didn't.
Haha.
Normally, I'll make like a little note so I can remember, but I was like, no, I'll definitely remember. And no, my brain is just fried. What? No, don't write in my book. What are you
Yeah.
doing? Why is he
gotta
writing
pay
in my
extra.
book? Somebody make him stop. All right, so favorite memory. Gosh, you know what? I have lots of really good memories. The day my son was born, that was. a
Yeah, I
good
was
memory.
thinking one of my other favorite memories is of Asshole lying on his little tiny blanket when he was almost 30 seconds old,
We're really going to pay extra for that.
with his little hands up over his head,
Oh,
going,
yeah.
"Oh fuck that!"
Worst hangover ever.
It was, and that was clearly the feeling.
Yes.
Was damn that hurt. So
I-
anyway,
No, so having my son was a good one. Moving into my own place for the first time.
that's good.
I had kind of mixed feelings about it, but like once I was in there, like it was pretty cool. Favorite memories, gosh. You know what? The first night I showed up here.
No.
That's true.
Definitely.
That had been a long, tiring drive.
Fair enough.
No, I was ecstatic. I was crying
Yeah.
when I pulled in. It was amazing. Let's go with that. I like
Yeah, okay.
that. What's been your most questionable haircut and or fashion moment?
Oh, the trim cut. I love an undercut. It's not popular. It's not anything else. I don't care.
A bowl cut or?
No, but like when you pull it all up and shave it up like a high and tight, but like the rest is long. Yeah, no, I had somebody try and start a fight with me once in Albuquerque, and my answer's like, dude, I'm gonna kill you and your 3 friends before I have to put a new mag in.
Mm.
No, he got out of his car, and it's one of those things. Like, if you get out of a car and want to
don't
talk
do that.
to me,
Don't get out of your
my
car.
answer is
People
not,
never get out of your car.
No,
It's never
why?
the right answer.
especially over a haircut.
Especially when you don't know who you're getting out of the car.
Right.
Like, you don't know what they have. You don't know what their skills are. They could have a fucking sniper rifle in their back seat and just,
Yeah.
pull it out and just... Done.
No, I
Don't
I
fight
was
the road rage.
thunderstruck
Yeah,
by
don't get out of your car.
just
don't
the
do it.
bored level of let's start some shit.
Yeah.
And I mean, I understand it, but like,
Okay, for me, one time, I did this thing where I had, the back, 3/4
Oh,
of
yeah.
my head shaved.
I remember that.
So I had the front brow.
I mean,
So
not
it was
but-
hair
Yeah,
on the front.
yeah.
So it looked like a mustache
Skull
on the top of
bangs.
my head.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, so it was just bangs.
Yeah.
And they were long enough that they came down to about my cheeks,
Yeah, just
my
throw
lower
it back.
cheeks. But yeah, I had that's all I had.
The
I
fucking
liked it.
90s and early 2000s were weird.
I liked it, and I thought it was awesome, and nobody else had the haircut at the time in my
Yeah.
area, and I just thought it was cool.
I can believe
but
that.
it was terrible. I shouldn't have done it. That was.
What was the
We're
exact
asking
question?
pictures of you.
What was your worst?
What's been your most questionable haircut and/or fashion moment?
So, I haven't been to a barber in 20 years. Right? I have a clipper. I put on the long foot,
Yeah, yeah.
and I just go at it until
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
nothing else
Right?
being cut.
No, it
and
works
then-
all the time.
Yeah, and
Except-
it's exactly a length I like. It's
Yeah.
fine. In a week, it even combs nicely. And I don't have to go sit
It does
and
look
wait for a barber, and I don't have to listen to the people in the barbershop talk. I don't like waiting. That's one of my big things.
We need to work on your patience,
So-
seriously, because you do have an issue with patience.
No, that's actually probably fucking true.
No, he does. He aggressively
Yeah,
has
I-
a patience
So
issue.
anyway, I went out to give myself a haircut. Completely forgot to put the foot on the clippers.
No.
And I took 2 good swipes
Yep. And then you're
with the
committed.
bear clipper. And that left me with hair that was almost 1/8 of an inch long.
Oh no.
Yeah, on
So-
about 3/8 of your skull.
Yeah, so I finished
Like
it all.
a better part and 1 degree off.
Yeah. I got some very odd looks at work.
What was the other choice? Be like, no, I got mange. Don't
Oh,
bother
I did a inverse mohawk.
Yeah.
Except
That's
it would have been about 4 inches wide, and oh my god.
Yeah.
So anyway.
All
it was
right.
pretty bad.
You just won $10,000. What are you gonna do with the money?
we have to watch the 2nd season of The Wire.
I'll tell you what I would do with the money. Step 1, okay? I'm gonna buy a shed.
Yep.
Put it out behind the trailer, and then I'm going to insulate it and put in drywall and stuff and make it nice, and then I'm going to fill it with bookshelves. Yes, bookshelves.
10,000 to do that.
And then I'll put all the books, every book I can find on the property will go in there, and that'll be my little getaway, and whoever else wants to use it, whenever they want to use it, and just go in there and just read and be quiet. We could do our show in there. It'd give us walking out and walking back. It would be brilliant. That's what I would do with $10,000. If there was any money left over, I'd take you all out to the nicest place in the area.
I think we'll all 3 agree on that.
Yes.
That'd be a good use
That's
for
so much
10,000.
better than my answer.
I know. Yeah.
No, because $10,000 isn't a ridiculous amount of money.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's certainly enough money for what I want to do
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
money to
Yeah.
spare.
That's-
I was gonna play bank to the hoppers in Baltimore's projects district.
Dude,
And,
I'd even
yeah.
pay my brother-in-law
No,
to
that's-
help come and help me build it ourselves so we could save a little bit more money, and then maybe we'd have enough money for a nice long road trip to go check out some state parks or something.
Sure.
So, however, but that's what I would do with 10 grand.
Okay.
Done. Nope.
Yeah.
Yep. Forfeit.
I'm all bought in.
Yeah.
What's next?
If you had to live in another time period, what would you choose?
Oh God, that's so easy. when you go to the Smithsonian in D.C.
Fair enough.
and
Been
you
there a
go
lot.
to the what?
I said fair enough. I've been there a lot.
And you go to the Museum of Industry and Technology.
Yeah.
Everything in that building is from the Victorian era.
Really is a generational difference. Carry on.
That the locomotives were big and new and huge, and right,
Yeah.
the
Train
Titanic.
fetish.
I wouldn't have wanted to ride on the Titanic, but
There's a
again,
reason you're afraid of big machines and have a major hard-on for them. Would you like to tell the internet
it was
that now, or
it was a period of explosive growth
yeah,
of technology and
yep.
possibility and so forth.
No, it's awkwardly close to when I choose, but because I'm going to be bad to them and lie.
Okay, so what period?
Because-
What time period would you choose, and why?
When is the most populous period of snake oil salesmanship?
Probably the same period.
Yeah,
Or a
no,
little
exactly.
before, yeah.
It really is. It's just riding on the crest of the
Between the
Enlightenment
Civil
era.
War and
yeah,
the Victorian age, so 1860 to
yeah,
1890.
right. Again, this why can't I have a time machine? I'm gonna make squirrels that limp.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I would go to the future. I'd go to the year 3000.
Fuck shit! Why? God damn.
I would
we're
go to
dumb.
the year 3000 to see how badly we fuck up.
Just there's something wrong with us. We didn't
I
hear
know,
that
that's a
question.
better
Yeah.
answer.
Yeah, future. Always a better answer.
Well,
Oh,
yeah,
I'm not
I
sure
ain't
it's a
going
bad
back
one.
to
I
the
put
past where I
in
have
my
to piss-
ass.
where I have to piss shit into a pot, and then I have to have my period, and just wrap cloths around.
I plan to take one modern ass adult pistol
I
and
am
be
not
God
shoving
from
cotton rags in
17
my
whatever
twat. It's not happening.
forward.
Not happening.
Oh. Okay.
Nope. I would go to the future.
No, that's a good
Yeah,
answer.
no. God. All right, so
That's more interesting than the other.
Risen
I'm curious. I
Inquisition
wanna
of
see.
shit Risen got right. That
I
Yeah.
one
want to
time.
see. I want to see what fucking goes down. If you were
Yeah.
see, this is
Yeah.
what you guys were talking about the other day. If you were an animal, now not what animal do you want to be, but if you were an animal, what animal would you be?
Spoiler warning: fangs.
So something that fits your personality or whatever. What animal would you be if you were an animal? Do you think?
An otter would be good. Otters
think
seem
you'd
to
be
have
an
a
otter?
good time. Yeah.
You like
They're not
doing
stupid.
doing the dance a lot because
Yeah.
otters are super rapey.
I don't know, but when I googled up vampiric squirrel, I got tufted ground squirrel.
Yeah, that's what you like. You like the
I
tufted ground
really
squirrel.
do, because I saw one day trying to revive his friend who had been run over in the road, and I realized he wasn't trying to revive him.
He was
He
eating
was
him.
eating his face.
Yeah.
And that's, yeah, no, look, we can't be in a plane crash. Do not die in the plane crash is my advice. If you
God,
don't
I don't
wanna
know
get
what
eaten.
animal I'd be. I'm kind of a contradiction in terms. Is there an animal that's a contradiction of itself?
Platypus.
Narwhal.
Yeah, narwhal. I like water.
Yeah.
I like water a lot. Yeah.
And I've watched a lot of Futurama. It'll work out
I
fine.
don't like
Yeah.
the cold though. They're cold creatures.
I hate everything in the ocean is. They're super gross. That's why we left.
All right, well, I would probably be a narwhal because I don't like the cold, but I tend to find myself in it more often than I care to
Okay.
admit.
That's fine.
Okay. What's an unexpected movie that makes you cry? So, not a drama, but a movie that you wouldn't expect to cry at. That
Tears
makes you
of
cry.
the Sun.
Alright.
Every time. That last bit where they're calling in fire support on themselves, guys.
Yeah.
Get the refugees inside the gate, and
Yeah.
SEAL teams are expensive but disposable.
Yeah, that was pretty powerful moment.
Yeah, no, I
I don't know if that's unexpected though, because I think that was their point.
the whole thing leads
Yeah.
up to it, and that's why yeah.
I think they were trying to lead up to that.
okay.
So
I
this is a tough one. I had a hard time. I was thinking about this, and I was like, there's
behind enemy lines.
Okay, so the one I came up with was Deadpool 2.
All right,
The opening to Deadpool 2 makes me cry.
fair. Nope, behind enemy lines. Dude doesn't care about the mission over Bosnia, doesn't anything else, and they creep over a valley and see the mass graves and things they aren't allowed to see, and gets shot down. And over the course of run, hide,
Not
fight.
that one we watched with William Dafoe, where they leave him. And he...
Platoon.
Yeah,
now
Platoon.
gets
Fuck,
me.
that one is.
Yeah, but that's not
Again,
unexpected.
that's expected. Yeah, if you don't
like-
cry during that part, you are completely heartless. Yeah, there's something wrong
and
with
don't
you.
understand why
Psychopath,
America
yeah.
lost Vietnam and everything forward facing from that.
Fair.
That we gave up the heart of. We weren't going to make it better for them. We wanted to make it better for a corporation that was going to employ them.
How about you, Boomer?
Sorry.
Movie do I cry at?
Unexpected. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
That's the thing that hit me, and that's why Deadpool 2. You don't think of that as a cry movie, but the opening does. It makes me very cry.
I was gonna say Moondog Saints when one
Oh,
brother's about to
yeah.
get smoked by the other, but that's
that is-
not
I don't
unexpected.
Cry at it. I don't cry at it, but I do. I get
cry at all of
choked
them.
up, right?
I cry when Old Yeller's
you get
gonna
that
get smoked.
feeling of oh my gosh.
Yeah, no,
Yeah. No, don't do it. Yeah.
That self-destructive level of nope, we're gonna I don't know, I'm just gonna verb nouns between here and the end of this sentence, and we're just gonna see how the shit goes.
Right.
Because you gotta yank that cistern off the back of the toilet, and having been cuffed to the back of toilets, that's not easy.
Oh fuck.
It's fine.
We'll talk about it later.
I didn't have to yank one off, but just having been around toilets and positioning them on the wax gasket and the rest, the idea of shoulder charging one to break the cistern off, drain the cistern, take it and the bowl up, drop it on Ivan, jump on the other guy,
and not die.
That's like a paragraph of me bitching about floor number 7. Why do we live in a building so big?
So I'll stick with Tears of the Sun.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's fair. We'll go with that. Do we want to keep going, or do we want to save the rest for another night?
Let's save them.
Okay, yeah, we can certainly do that.
Way to go, Teen Vogue magazine from...
Yeah, no, tonight I honestly have 3 pages of questions, because some nights we go through them quicker than others. But these ones were pretty substantial.
You know what made me cry
way to
that
go,
I didn't
Teen
expect
Vogue.
it? What? Red versus Blue.
Oh God, yeah, no.
You need to see the
don't
rest of
expect
that.
to cry during that, and
Yeah,
yeah,
it gets into some
It
of the
does, it
hardest
gets deep.
sci-fi and what is consciousness,
So
what is
deep.
the soul. And
oh God, it's so good.
then they reboot it all because shit's hard all over.
Yeah, no, and it's funny because it starts off, for those of you who know Red versus Blue, it starts off as just a fun, lighthearted thing, or they're making jokes.
It's just nonsense.
But the longer you watch it, if you push through some of the kind of parts, you start getting into some real serious, real deep, emotional fucking shit.
Okay.
It gets deep.
I've got one.
An AI clone of your mind chopped into pieces to see what you do in any given situation. And how could anyone who knew you not tell
I
them?
cried unexpectedly
Ooh.
at the fight in the retired robot park.
Yes.
Robot.
Yes. Fuck yes.
Yeah, that
Human in danger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Run!
Yeah, no, that's why I don't.
Yeah.
If we get, this is why someone I know should tell someone in charge they want to deal with robots. Because robots left to the hands of system engineers will fuck it up. Robots, Hitchbot is the answer. Hitchbot is why I'm not afraid of a Terminator and of humans.
Yeah. So, anyway.
Now, there may be Terminators that wander around the earth killing whatever kills the humans.
It's unexpected and forlorn heroism.
Yeah. Oh,
That's always been a good...
Don Quixote be the man.
Yeah.
No, I'm very impressed with these questions, Teen Vogue. They're some of them are much deeper, and you can get really into detail.
That's why I wish you could get into video games. Just understand, it's about teaching your fingers to play the goddamn machine, and the rest is about storytelling.
Yeah, if I can do it, you can do it. Trust me. I was shite when I first started. You can ask him. I was terrible. I'm still terrible, but I'm not as bad as I used to be. I can kill
video
motherfuckers.
games are built on the concept of forlorn hope and last stands. The I made you read the first Halo book. The Halo Reach is when they really departed the first story of stolen children and the rest. And there's a whole ass firefight that is just hold out, right? Do not let them pass.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
For more forlorn
and don't
Bob.
forget to follow us on our Podbean.
And a shit ton of
and
other
download us on our Podbean. And if you go to our Podbean website, we actually have a website with Podbean. So if you go to podbean.com and you search up Boomer Rex, our website is kick-ass, if I do say so myself. I think I did a brilliant job with it.
You did.
Asshole helped me out with confirming the different aesthetics that I
So,
was looking
anything
at.
fucked up is all my problem.
No, none of it's fucked up. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. So I highly recommend checking it out.
Compliments to
Don't forget
Risen,
download.
complaints to asshole. We get it.
Fair enough.
Yep.
Dude, yes. Care of Barnabas.
No, this has been super exciting. I mean, Teen Vogue, I can't even say how impressed I am with these questions. I originally started looking through these questions as a lark, right? Like I thought, oh, this is going to be fun.
Yeah.
It's gonna
No,
be
and
funny.
knowing that you jettisoned ungood questions, I am now afraid to run out of them, which is why I was down to shut it down tonight.
Yeah.
Oh no, we're not even.
sure.
We're not even.
Hey,
halfway
he and I
through.
respond easily to questions. Like,
Yeah.
I just have to make a noise.
This is good.
yeah.
Yeah, we're not even halfway through these
We're
questions, so
having fun.
don't you worry. We've got a ways to
Like
go.
50% of the answer to any question
We don't have to
came
ration
from the
them.
point. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no,
All right.
No, and it's exciting and it's fun. And it's a way for you, our viewers, to get to.
Short circuit makes me
to-
cry.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
that does. I cry. Stephanie.
Subscribe,
Yeah.
comment, spend money.
Oh shit! I had never thought of that.
Anyway, so thank you all very much for hanging out with us again tonight. It's been so much fun. I had a really good
Yeah,
time
this
tonight.
was a good night.
Good night, the
So
English Webb.
we love you all, and we'll see you back here tomorrow night on Boomer Rex Tonight.
Seriously,
night,
just
y'all.
send us money or